This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. My first guest today is Jeff Gray from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Hi, Jeff.
Good morning.
I hear that you went out on the boat with the governor when he was in town.
Yes. Governor Snyder was visiting us earlier this week, and he visited us about a year ago, and he came and saw the exhibits, and he was touring around town. And after the tour of the exhibits, we went out and saw the glass bottom boat, and he said he'd wanted to come back and dive. And when he said that, we were very excited, but we weren't sure if I wasn't sure if we ever saw that. And then I was in January, I was at a speech he gave, and he talked about the sanctuary, and he stopped the speech and said, "I'm going to get up there and dive this summer." And he did it. He made it happen. He came here on Tuesday, and we had an incredible experience with him.
I saw lots of pictures in the Detroit Free Press. I saw a lot of pictures on all kinds of online spots today. I was looking at all of them, and it's amazing how crystal clear and what you could really see.
Yeah, and you know, part of it was he is a diver. We've got that question: was he a diver? And he's a certified diver, of course.
It was only 18 feet of water.
Yeah, it was a nice, incredible site out in Thunder Bay Island. But what he wanted to do is really highlight the incredible resources here, and it's part of his Pure Michigan tour. And so he came here, and besides all the great newspaper coverage, WDIV did a live broadcast from that, where we had, as the governor was diving, we had a live camera broadcasting back to Detroit, and really it was incredible exposure. We've done radio pieces across the state all week, and hopefully it's really raising attention to Alpena, Northeast Michigan, and the sanctuary, and that was really his goal for the visit. I'll
be interested to see how many clicks you get on your website.
Yeah,
I'm sure it has to be unbelievable.
Twitter was on fire, and they were doing lots of photos throughout it, and he had just a great experience. I mean, this past week the weather has been spectacular, and it was just a magnificent Alpena day out there. We went out to Thunder Bay Island to the site of the Mount Hansett, which is a shallow, you mentioned, about 15 feet of water, and as you know, we've talked about this before, so many of the wrecks are these shallow, incredible sites.
Snorkel.
Yeah, snorkel and kayak, and it's one of the sites that the glass bottom goes to in its evening cruises, and it's the water out there is always crystal clear, and get to see Thunder Bay Island Lighthouse. It's a real special place out at the island.
And you know, when you think of people saying, "Oh, there's nothing to do," man, they just need to do some exploring. We are so blessed to have so many things to do, and all be part of our natural history and our heritage.
Yeah. Well, you know, before we started, we were talking a little bit about paddleboarding.
Yes.
And I've seen some people paddle snorkeling, I guess we'd call it, where I've seen some people out on our buoys that have paddleboarded out to some of the buoys, tied off, and brought their snorkeling gear out there. And so we're coming up with new ways to get out there and explore the wrecks.
I did that the other day, laying across looking for a pair of goggles that my granddaughter lost, but yeah.
You're an underwater explorer now. So
yes, I am.
You're looking for some shipwrecks for us.
And speaking of new and exciting things, how are we going with the expansion project?
Oh, it's been great. We've just extended our public comment period by 60 days.
Okay.
We've had some great responses from people really supportive of that. This is, like we've said before, this is the final push for expansion. The sanctuary is currently just the waters off of Alpena County, and we're looking to expand that to Presque Isle and Alcona counties, and then all the way to the international boundary. It would increase us by almost 10 times the size of the sanctuary. And so we're in the process of that. We've had a couple issues come up with the shipping industry that we're working out, and it's been a great partnership with us, the Coast Guard, a few other agencies, and the shipping industry to try to work that out, and we'll hopefully have that resolved very soon.
And encourage people, if they're watching, please go online.
Yep.
Give your comments, favorable or not favorable, but you know, we know that it can really be favorable.
It
really is.
Yeah, and
it really is.
That's what we're really looking for. We want to hear from the public, and we had a few meetings earlier, a couple months ago. We got some great feedback, but again, it's open till about mid-October.
Okay.
So all that information is on our website, thunderbay.noaa.gov.
Okay, and I got an email alert the other day, something about the ROVs. What's going on with that?
Oh, yep. You know, we talk about the robotics programs we do quite a bit, and every spring we do our regional ROV competitions.
Right.
We bring about 30 teams from across the state here, but coming next July we'll have the international ROV competition, which is a huge thing for us. 800 to 1,000 people will be coming to Alpena, literally from around the globe. The best and brightest kids, and they're from very young kids all the way to MIT, and people like that will be coming to compete in Alpena. We had the group did a scout of Alpena a couple weeks ago, and they're very excited to bring all these people to Northeast Michigan.
Well, you better get your hotel room booked now if you have any plans for next year.
Yes, we're working on it. It'll be the week before the 4th of July, and I think it'll be a great way to showcase what's going on at the sanctuary, what's going on at Alpena Community College, and just really another thing to highlight Alpena across the country.
And since the last time you've been here, now you've opened the Science Fair and you've opened the rooftop garden. Tell me how that's all going.
It's wonderful. You know, the Science on the Sphere was one of our most popular exhibits. We had that back in 2007. We took it down when we built the ship and the exhibits because that exhibit was so special it needed its own space. And so we finally raised enough money, and we had some great corporate sponsors, Bay Athletic Club, Tim Construction, the Besser Foundation helped us bring that exhibit back. And it's now open in a Science on the Sphere theater where it's in its own space where we can really have a really incredible experience. And for those that haven't seen it, it's a 6-foot diameter globe that there's no way to describe it until you see this, but it's the Earth floating before your eyes. And we're really excited to share that, not just with our visitors, but really starting to incorporate into our classroom programs as well.
Perfect. We have about 2 minutes left. What else do we need to talk about today?
Well, I'm really excited about the branding effort. We've talked about that some before, but we have a group of special kids that started the Alpena Youth Branding Team, and I'm working with them to make Alpena a better place for kids. And it started, maybe we can bring some kids on in the future, but they wanted to come up with activities that could help with the branding effort, but then give kids to do. And last week we did our first youth event. We did a teen dance at Bay Urban. Bay Urban lent us their space, and we had GT Sounds, had a DJ, and we had a blacklight glow party, and had about 100 kids show up for that.
Perfect.
The funding that was raised for that will go to other kids' events, and then ultimately to branding or to help out the sanctuary. And on Friday, this coming Friday, we'll have a teen cruise on the glass bottom boat.
Perfect.
And so watch Facebook, because that's how all these kids communicate, and their kids there is dedicated to this community as anybody else, and they just want to make it a better place.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And how long will Glass Bottom Boat be running?
Runs through mid-October. We'll go all the way through Lighthouse Festival.
Okay.
You know, I tell you, the last couple of weeks here is a great time to get out on the lake. We've had just incredible visibility, and people from all over the country coming here for the boat. And we want to remind the people that live in Northeast Michigan to come try it out. And
try it out.
When the fall comes, it's a different type of cruise because of the fall colors. It's different every time of the year.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here. We're out of time. I look forward to talking to you next month.
We'll see you then.
Thank you. I'll be right back with Ann Diamond from Alpena Regional Medical Center following these messages. Hi, welcome back. As promised, my last guest today is Ann Diamond from Alpena Regional Medical Center. Hi, Ann.
Hi, Nancy. How are you today?
Good, and I know that you're busy. Things are always booming at the hospital. I read things in the paper and go online and see the ambitious projects that we have, and we're in the red, we're in the black, and this is good, and this is happening, and new CT scanners, and this program, and that program. Holy samoli, no wonder we are a regional referral center in Alpena.
Absolutely. The hospital has got things going on that a lot of people don't even know about.
Truly.
We've got a wonderful development council with about 50 community volunteers that help us in our fundraising and events, and then, of course, we've got a great administrative staff that are keeping us at the forefront of technology and wonderful, medical utilization.
And speaking as a person who uses your hospital an awful lot, you know, what a wonderful, wonderful thing to have in my backyard, because we did the travel, we did all that, and it was emotionally, financially, and mentally exhausting for our family, and we're so pleased that we can get the care and the treatment we need right here in Alpena.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry you have to be there, but on the other hand, we're so pleased to be able to provide it for our region, really, for our regional patients that have to come to the cancer center or the hospital.
Yes, and talking about some of those fundraising and some of those events, today we want to start out talking about the Alferis Memorial Race.
Yes, indeed. This is our 12th year for the Alferis Memorial Race. This was named after a longtime pathologist, Dr. Peter Alferis. He passed away shortly after he retired, but he was instrumental in getting the partnership with the Cancer Center also, and so it's kind of a partnership with the University of Michigan, and we've named it after Dr. Alferis, and his wife Carlene still comes to the race every year, so it's wonderful to see her and have her support, and his family also. They're scattered all over the country, but we always hear from them this time of year too, so it's a wonderful event.
And it's Saturday, August 31st.
Yes.
And give me all the details about it. I always read about it in the paper and see it, but I've never attended. And this year I think I'm going to be there.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's always the Saturday of Labor Day. And we do that because we have a lot of people that are visiting family in the area, and it gives them a healthy activity to do. What we really try to do is provide like a family event for people. And we start out in the morning. Registration begins at 7 o'clock, and you're usually out of there by 11 or 11:30. But we provide events across the board for every lifestyle. We have a 5K run, which is, of course, our most popular event. We have a 1-mile run walk. For those who want to be timed, they can. New this year, we have a duathlon, which is a bike race and a 5K run timed together. And one of the other events that have been really, really popular has been the 18.5-mile bike race. And attendees of that, participants have kept going up year after year. So that's really a fun race. And then, of course, for all those little ones, 9 and under, we have the Tot Trot, which is great fun to watch. And also we will be having Ronald McDonald this year promoting some of their healthier menu items and running with the kids. And he's always great fun to have.
So do we have to register in advance, or we can register the day of?
Both.
Okay.
You can register in advance online at myarmc.org under events. You can register online, or you can register the day of the event.
Okay, sounds wonderful. And I hope everybody comes, because this is an important event, draws attention to Dr. Alferis and what he did for us, but it helps raise funds for some of the wonderful projects that we have ongoing.
Absolutely. Actually, the proceeds for this race are kind of split up into 3 areas. They go to the Cancer Center. They go to current technology needs that we have, and then we also have the Dr. Alferis Medical Scholarship that we use to fund that also. But this is our 12th year, and we have raised, through the generosity of their participants and our business sponsors, over $275,000.
Wow,
yeah,
unbelievable.
It's really awesome. And
the next event is the Weiland Memorial Pheasant Hunt.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is going to be the 14th year for the pheasant hunt, and that was named after Arnie Weiland. His wife started the initiative after he passed away, which was right after the Cancer Center opened. They were a family that Arnie and Kay traveled for Arnie's treatments, and realizing how beneficial the Cancer Center was, Kay created this event in his memory, and all those proceeds do go to the Cancer Center.
Perfect. And I know it's a fun time. It's Saturday, September 7th. Tickets are available, and where are they available?
They can get those at our office, the development office, at 356-7738, or they can call the hospital and ask for Ann Diamond, and I can point them in the right direction. This is a limited number of positions available. It's a European tower shoot. We only have 36 spots left, or 36 spots available, and many of those are taken. We have a lot of annual people that do it year after year, but it's a great event. We hold it out in Spruce at Rodney's Hunting Preserve out there, and we provide lunch and some great prizes, and it's just a fun day.
And we have some wonderful raffle tickets available that go along with this. Tell us about the raffle tickets.
We do. We have raffle tickets that we only have 500 printed. And the prizes are a Browning X-Bolt medallion rifle, which I'm sure you know all about.
Oh,
Nancy.
yes.
Yeah. And then we also...
I thought it was a game that kids play.
Then there is a choice between that and a $1,000 shopping spree at Art Van Young Appliance. So they could big screen TV, furniture, appliances, or a $1,000 gift certificate at Boland's Jewelry.
Yay, and we want to thank all those people for being so generous and helping us with everything, too.
Absolutely.
Every time we call on them, they're right there.
Absolutely. This community is wonderful. And just following up on the heels of Jeff's interview, there's just so much going on in Alpena.
There is.
The energy is positive, and all our sponsors. It's just wonderful, wonderful to be here and be able to provide events and things like we do.
And where will the money from the Weiland Memorial Pheasant Hunt go?
That will go to the Cancer Center.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, absolutely.
So make sure people get there. If they want more information, once again, you can contact the hospital, and the general number is 356-7738
is my direct line.
738 is your direct line.
Yep.
Okay, that'll be good. And then, anybody that's on the board, go anywhere. You can find people who know about it. There's posters up and about. And I have tickets. Call me. I want to get those tickets sold and come back and get some more.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you have a great chance of winning, you know, a great prize there.
Oh, yes.
It's a good thing.
Okay, and how are we doing with volunteers for Development Council? Are we in need of any more volunteers, or?
We've got some great committees with the Development Council. We have you know, 5 different committees. So if you have an interest in serving on one of those, we do a lot of things from you know, events and educational opportunities to larger donors. If you have an interest, please contact me, because if we don't have a position today, we might in the future, and it's always great to have a good list of,
yes, it is,
of people like yourself, Nancy, who sits on the annual support committee. It's great to have you on board.
If you'd like to find out how to be a member of the Keystone Committee or any of those, give me a call. I can help you with that too.
Absolutely.
We're out of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy. Great to be here.
Thank you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Olin Joynton following these messages.
Good morning. I am Jay Walterwright, Director of Public Information and Marketing for Alpena Community College, and this is Talk of the Town. With me this morning is Marine Tech Instructor David Cummins. David,
good morning, Jay.
Welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you for having me again.
I was just saying that you're a grizzled veteran of the show.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, you have a very exciting program, and we're always happy to have you on to talk about it. The Marine Tech program is, well, this summer it started its 2nd full year, right?
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened this summer?
Well, this summer has been just a big summer for us. Last year, we were just getting off the ground, figuring out what direction to head. Now, a year later, we've had pretty good direction, and some of the big things happened this year is some large purchases for the program to invest in its future. One being the purchase of an underwater robot, an ROV, for the program. And we have actually completed the purchase and received the ROV and have now used it on several dives. This is going to give our students a chance to actually see a real ROV, see how it's constructed, learn more about the maintenance, also get them operations. As we get opportunities to use the ROV, the students can come along as crew members and get
now,
firsthand.
I've seen it, but I'm sure our viewers haven't seen it. Could you describe what a typical ROV is and what it does?
A typical ROV consists of 2 main pieces. One is a computer and a screen, a monitor, and a joystick that is going to sit topside on the vessel. And another part, in our case, is a box that looks about that long, that high, and about that wide, which is the waterproof. It's rated to 1,000 feet underwater, and that's the part that actually goes underwater, and on it has a black and white video camera, a colored video camera, lights, and also sonar, so if it's too murky, we can actually, with sound waves, see where we're at and go to where we're going. And that gives us the ability to observe, document stuff. And one of the great things about having it at the college and our relationship with the National Marine Sanctuary here in Alpena is it now gives us the ability to work with the sanctuary to give them a capability they currently don't have in doing some of this documentation work, and then gives our students that ability to actually work on projects and work in a real-life scenario of doing work with an ROV.
So they could take this little vehicle and take it out on a boat and put it in the water, and it could go down and it can observe the wrecks that are under the water. It can video them, it can take pictures, it can observe wear and tear and changes in the wrecks, that type of thing, right?
Correct. So we can record that video. We can also overlay voice. So we could actually, I'll jump into a normal ROV procedure, is they'd have a task to complete, begin mission, where we're going to go. So first challenge is getting the ROV to that spot, and then they have a list of stuff they need to do. As the video is recording, they can now have a headset on and then talk on the video what they're seeing to document what's going on. They can also have another person with a logbook recording down the time on the video to say, let's go back to that, that's something we want to look at. And then after this tedious work of getting all this data, then the real tedious work began, because now you have to bring this data back and then let the researchers have a look at the data and then find the meaningful information out of that.
So we have this ROV now.
Yes.
How does this compare to what's going on out in the real world?
So out in the real world, there's lots of uses for ROVs, but 95% of ROVs is used in oil and gas field. 5% is used in everything else, from research to investigation pipelines, as in inside pipelines. One that's fairly popular here in the Great Lakes region with some of our local ROV companies is actually using ROVs to go inside of pipelines, going from like a dam to the water treatment plant, inspecting those pipelines for cracks, leaks, and that's just a big field. And what we're finding is in our Great Lakes regions, we have a lot of these little industries, and it's just pulling them together. There's a lot of opportunities for our students, but the big one is oil and gas. And that is where our program is tailored for, and we're really trying to build those ties to that industry for jobs for our students.
Well, great. And there was another big purchase that we just made. Why don't you tell our viewers about that?
Our other big purchase is ROV Simulator. It is a professional class ROV simulator, and Alpena Community College will be the first public institution in the nation to have ROV Simulator of this class.
Why don't you tell our viewers what does that mean? What is a simulator?
Good question. The ROV Simulator is, if you know, like an airplane simulator, sometimes you see on TV, or you see on TV where fighter pilots or airline pilots are training. This will be the similar type of system, but for underwater robots. It has all the same feels. They will have missions similar to what they'll be doing in industry. They'll have task lists. They'll have sonar, video, multiple video screens. It will have reports. If they hit something, they will see the damage. The system might shut down. And the advantage is this simulator is going to simulate a $3 to $5 million ROV, something that you don't want a student to accidentally hit and hurt. And the other big one is being a professional class simulator. The time they spend on that simulator, if it's documented, will actually credit them time to industry for time piloting the ROV. So it actually helps build their credentials.
Great. You mentioned industry, and I think you also mentioned the company Oceaneering, who you've worked very hard to develop a relationship with. Why don't you talk very briefly about what Oceaneering is and why it's beneficial to our students?
Oceaneering is the single largest employer in this field. As they like to brag a little bit, is if you took all of their competitors, combine them all together, it still does not equal 50% of their business. Oceaneering is an amazing company. They are worldwide. They do everything from very bottom of the ocean, oil and gas, their primary one, and then research, and then they also are one of the primary suppliers for NASA for space.
And they employ a lot of people.
They are the largest single employer of ROV technicians, and I cannot remember their overall figure, but I want to say they are over 10,000 employees.
And those are the types of jobs that our student graduates would qualify for.
Yes, and a big one we had this summer was actually to get Oceaneering to come up to Alpena and visit our campus and see what we're doing here. They were so excited about what they saw, what we're doing here in Alpena, that they've said they will come back and make a special exception to their policy and come back to Alpena in May to interview our graduates to see about jobs at their company.
Well, that's very exciting. Our time is up. But maybe you can come back and tell us more about that when that happens.
Well, thank you, Jay. Thank you for having me on today.
All right. Well, thank you, David. And thank you for joining us this morning. Once again, I'm Jay Walteray, Director of Public Information and Marketing for Alpena Community College, and this is Talk of the Town.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.